and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, welcome. My name is Danielle. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I am just going to be doing kind of a chit chat, get ready with me. I may or may not mention the products I'm using. Anything I do use will be in the description box below. I guess I kind of use my chit chat, get ready with me as like a venting kind of a thing, just because, yeah. So on Halloween night, I ran into a friend who I have not seen in quite some time, and I was kind of, you know, excited to see her and kind of mentioned that, yeah, we're in the same ward at church. In case any of you are wondering, I am, Mormon, but I haven't been to church in several months to almost a year, I think. And it's just because life's been crazy, I'm gonna be honest, like crazy. And in the last ward my husband and I were in, we didn't really feel like accepted, and so it was kind of hard to go. It was also just work schedules. We both work some crazy hours, so it's been hard to go. I mean, excuses, I guess. But this friend last night was very condescending and very rude when she found out that I lived in the same neighborhood as her. And I was just kind of like taken aback by it, because I'm like, that's not how you make somebody feel welcome or want to go to church. Like, this is something that's been bugging me since it happened. Like, I kind of sat up the other night kind of thinking about it and like mulling it over, and I'm just kind of like, oh, you know, trying to like digest it and just accept it for what it was. But it was very hard for me to do that. It kind of really offended me, and yeah, and I probably will say something to her at some point, because you don't, I don't know, I guess to me it kind of felt like she was being elitist and like, oh, you kind of, the way she said what she said to me kind of made it feel like, oh, well, we could hang out and see each other if you went to church, but outside of that, if you're not going, I'm not going to associate myself with you. Like, it kind of made me feel like she was thinking I was a bad person or was up to like no good, and I was just kind of like, okay, you know, like, there are ways to do things, and, you know, she could have been like, oh, hey, you know, I'd love to see you at church, but it was, oh, you'd get to see me if you actually showed up. And I was kind of like, okay. And then she had a very kind of elitist attitude, which I'm like, you know what? No wonder a lot of people don't like Mormons. I'm just going to say it. There are times where I don't like Mormons, because I'm like, you can't do that. Other people have lives. Other people are human beings. You don't know what's going on in their life. Just because you think you know something or you think you know what people should be doing does not mean that you go and you say that to someone. That is kind of like my pet peeve right now. And it really rubbed me the wrong way. And my husband even kind of caught it, which he was like, okay, you know, and he's not usually one to catch things like that. Like, I'm usually the one to be like, why would you say it that way? But, you know, to each their own. I try really hard not to be that way to people, and understand, you know, not everyone wants to be Mormon. Not everyone likes Mormons, and that's fine. We all have our reasons. We've all been through different things in life, and that's the thing that I just don't understand sometimes, is that it's like our church teaches one thing, but people are going to behave in completely different ways and just be rude and condescending and just elitist. And I don't really like that attitude at all. So I guess I just try and be kind to people. And, you know, if people ask me questions about my religion, I'll answer, but I won't be like, oh, well, this is this and that is that and you're wrong. That's not how I am at all. I've never been that way. Most of my friends are not Mormon. I've found that I fit in with people outside of my religion than in. I've always kind of been the nerdy girl, the weird girl, the one that stands out, the alternative girl. That's always been my favorite. Like when people are like, I had somebody at one point tell me, oh, you're too alternative to find a husband. Maybe you should change your hair and the way you do your makeup and your attitude. What? Like, seriously? And that was at the time from a leader at church. I think I was like 20, maybe 21 at the time. And I was just kind of like, okay. And then there have been things going on with my parents that my mom's kind of told me about that I'm just like, what in the world is going on? Like, why are people being such jerks and just rude and not sympathetic? And it's weird to me because they preach being kind, being sympathetic towards people, being understanding, helping people out, and then they go and act a completely different way instead of really looking at somebody's situation and going, oh, hey, that's, you know, I'm sorry you're going through that. Is there any way I can help? No, lately it's been like, oh, well, you're on your own. What? Or, oh, you haven't been showing up to church? Yeah, that's really not okay. And just sometimes I'm like, do you know what's going on in my life? Do you care to know? Do you care to know what's going on in my parents' life? Do you care to know what's going? I'm like, come on. And then the ones that act like they have it like perfect and don't make any mistakes drive me crazy. Like, stop acting like, I just don't understand. I'm very much true to who I am, and if things are going wrong, it kind of reflects in my attitude. Or if life isn't perfect, I'm not like, oh yes, everything's hunky-dory, I'm the happiest. I don't know. I'm not that person. And I don't know how people fake it or put on such like a mask. I mean, sometimes I'd love to learn. Other times I'm just like, okay, you are very fake. And that drives me crazy. Like, don't be fake nice to me. If you don't like me, you don't have to talk to me. Don't be fake nice to me. Don't be like, oh, well, because we're the same religion. No, don't even. I'd rather have friends who actually like me and care about me than ones who are like, oh, well, we go to the same church, we live in the same area, I guess we should be friends. What? That's not how that works. Like, if you don't like me, you don't like my thoughts, you don't like my ideas, I'm too alternative for you, don't talk to me. I'm fine with that. I am the first person who's like, and I have the friends that I have, and I'm okay with that. And then, I don't know. I don't like the, oh, when are you going to have kids question either. Leave me alone. And I'm not trying to like rag on things with like religion. So if you're like super religious or Mormon, I'm not trying to like bash it. I have friends who are Mormon. I mean, my family's Mormon. I'm Mormon. I grew up Mormon. Like, I've been there, I've done that. But just some things are like grating on my nerves. And it's just kind of like, really? You can't be a decent human being except for when you go to church? That's not how it's supposed to be. Like, overall, be a good person. Like, your, like, little fake attitude when I go to church is not going to, like, fix everything. Or here's the fun thing. I'm gonna laugh because she's like, oh, you came to church. Da, 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 da. I'm so glad I could help you. What? If I'm going, it's on my own, like, I want to go. Not because you said some rude comment and I was, like, guilted into going. That's not right, by the way. Like, I should go because I want to go. And I should go because I feel the need to go. Not because you decided to, like, bully me into going. Or make snide comments. In all honesty, your snide comments make me not want to go. I'm not going to go somewhere where people are just going to talk about me and treat me badly. Like, that's kind of like the overall. And I'm going to have people who are like, well, maybe you should change your hair and just kind of try and fit in. My hair should not reflect who people think I am. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand the thought process. I don't know. I'm not happy with like what went on. Like, it could have been like, oh, hi, how are you doing? You know, and oh, I'd really like to see you at church. Like, that I could have handled. But just the way she worded it, and like her being condescending, and just the way she like walked away, like, I was like, really? Attitude much? Go trick-or-treating. Take your kids trick-or-treating and have fun. Sorry, I really needed to vent and get it out, and maybe she'll watch this and kind of realize that she was a you-know-what. Because I try not to swear on my channel. I don't know what's up with this eyebrow, but we're going to leave it because I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm going to go into my Tarte Clay Play. This has become like one of my favorites. So thank you again, Raven. But yeah, I'd really hope that people would kind of be nicer. Just in general, like, don't be jerks. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because you have no right to judge somebody's life. That's not, and if you are religious, that's not up to you anyway. That's up to God. And if you're not, well, you know what? I find most people who aren't religious tend to be pretty decent human beings most of the time. I don't know. I just kind of find it hypocritical and rude. Like, very, very, very rude. I guess if you feel confident being that type of person, then I guess that's just who you are. If you don't want me to think that that's who you are, then don't act that way. Kind of my thoughts on the matter. And again, I'm not meaning to offend anyone. I just needed to vent and get it out. Or it was going to bug me all day, and then that wouldn't have been fun. Especially not when I work with young children, and I don't want my attitude to affect them. That's not right. But on a lighter note, I have a lot of fun videos coming. I'm going to try and include my husband a bit more on my channel. We'll see how that goes. I think it'll be fun. I just have to get him to think it'll be fun. Okay, now that that's done, I actually want to go into my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea and use this very pretty gold shade here. It is called Sunset. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts on the way just some people act or behave? Like, does it shock you when people just, instead of showing kindness or empathy, or that they're just outright rude? I'm very curious about that. I don't know. I think I don't like when people act like they believe one thing and then are completely different, or behave differently outside of church, and then when they're at church act like they're holier than thou, or just act holier than thou in general. Because really, like, you're human. You're not perfect. Sorry to burst that bubble. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. It's a part of life. But I do think it's pretty simple to just kind of be kind to people. And, you know, I mean, maybe it's hypocritical of me, like, making this rant, but I don't know. Sometimes we have to vent. I don't know why, but this eye is like more sensitive when I touch it with an eyeliner than this eye. And so it always takes me longer to do it. And I end up having to like go super slow. Sorry, I'm like really bad with mirrors lately. Every time I edit a video, I'm like, oh look, it's a mirror in my face. Instead of it being like down a little so you guys can see what I'm doing. Where did that go? I'm going to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, and I'm going to do my upper and lower lashes. I'm going to need a new one soon. I'm running low. I use this all the time. Do you guys have any other like favorite drugstore mascaras besides this one? If you do, leave a comment down below of the ones that you do recommend me trying. I do love Essence mascaras also. I haven't, the only like high-end mascara I really like is the It Cosmetics Superhero one. But I don't really buy high-end mascaras. I find that they are usually not worth their price tag. Ay. Well, here's a fun thing about Halloween. Like, we went from a house with like no trick-or-treaters to one that had a ton of trick-or-treaters, and I loved it. I'm going to use the shade Pearl. I'm going to use it to highlight my inner corner. Kind of bring that up. And so that was a lot of fun. Our candy, like next year we'll definitely have to buy more candy because holy cow, the amount of trick-or-treaters we had. I was like, okay, need more candy. We bought like 2 big bags of candy, think, oh, you know, well, we'll see. We might end up with a lot of candy. No, we didn't end up with a lot of candy, which is a good thing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love like trick-or-treaters and what? I want to use my Becca highlighter. And I'm going to give my lips a little break from lipstick or anything right now just because they are kind of chapped and I have chapstick on them, and I think that's about where I'm going to leave that. I'm going to use this little brush here. I'm going to highlight. I'm doing kind of like a subtle glow with this. I find that if I put too much on, it is too gold for my face, but if I go kind of subtle with it, that's the way to go. And with the weather changing here in Arizona, my allergies are out to play. It's fun. Well, there you have it. There is today's look. Thank you guys so much for listening to me rant and vent. I kind of needed to get it out, and I really do appreciate those of you who do watch and comment. Please like this video if you would like to see more Get Ready with me, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Thank you again, and bye!